Let's go! So today we're breaking down the Mississippi State Bulldogs of 2023. Comment down below. I want to share something that's going to sound absolutely wild, but Arizona did more to lose this game than Mississippi State did to win it. You'll see right here, Jayden Daniels rolls out to the right and throws an absolute dart to Territoria, I always butcher his first name, McMillan, right? This is a guy that LSU recruited pretty hard. He's out of California, and he's one of the best receivers in college football. And as you can see, with 2:29 left to go in this game, 27 here makes a really good play, but he steps out of bounds, right? He was able to miss the tackle. It looks like he could have stayed in bounds. If he stays in bounds, he's got a really good block down the field right here. He scores. And more than likely, Arizona wins this game as they go up by 4. So let's chat about the Mississippi State offense first, okay? This is not Will Rogers, their normal quarterback. This is Mike Wright, the backup, a transfer from Vanderbilt. Has some dual threat ability that Rogers does not have. And right here, this is just a simple run play to the left. Now, if you look at the numbers pre-snap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have to like where you are right here with Arizona, and they decide to run to the left. What happens here is this linebacker, Justin Flo, the 5-star from Oregon, he's supposed to fill, it looks like, this B gap. For some reason, he gets caught to the inside here, and Jaquavius Marks, who is a really good running back, feels this out, and he's able to find this hole, okay? So, yes, it's not a huge gain of yards, but Jaquavius Marks is a really, really solid running back who is very smart. All right, so why is this important to fill properly in the run game? Well, last year, Mississippi State's most explosive touchdown actually came from a run play, and they did not run the football all that much, okay? So they get a super light box here. Arizona had a pretty heavy box. So 6 players here, technically only 5 if you want to get, frisky with it. So it opens up this huge gap right here. And B.J. Ojulari actually beats this guy very easy to the inside right here. The issue is 2 things. Number 1, we need B.J. to make this tackle. And number 2, Major Burns just gets absolutely juked out of his shoes. And then number 3 is Greg Penn sees this kind of late, and they're able to work this double team, and Penn could have potentially scraped over and made this tackle right here. Instead, none of those things happened. We missed both of these tackles. This is why, Marks, you got to be careful. There's nobody else back here either, and it's a walk-in tutty. So this is some really good offensive play calling right here by State. They said, hey, if you're going to load the box to stop the run, let's get exotic here to the right side and run something absolutely crazy. Understand that the first touchdown that they scored in this game was running the actual wide receiver screen. They were able to throw the football to Griffin, and he was able to house it with some good blocking. But now they run the exact opposite later in the game. All right, so the first thing here is, correct me if I'm wrong here, coaches, this tight end is not an eligible receiver. All right, but Mississippi State gets exactly what they want. A 3 versus 3 matchup with no deep safety over the top. And you'll see right here, once again, like I told you earlier, Arizona did more to lose this game than Mississippi State did to win it. They throw the fake screen, a play that everybody likes to run. Florida State actually got us with something somewhat similar where it looks like a player is blocking and then he releases. And you'll see right here, this fake screen actually gets all 3 of these players biting, all right? And then this is a free touchdown. Now, you've got to stay disciplined because Will Rogers had 2 players he could have thrown a touchdown to, Jaden Wally or Tutu right here, number 5. Bam! Looking at you, making sure you're awake. Don't forget about the pregame, halftime, postgame shows. You see the normal live stream schedule. And look, Tiger Stadium was big. I mean, look at my guy right here making a ton of noise. He looks like James Franklin, Vin Diesel, and Cory Booker all just put together. But I'll tell you this, the crowd noise was such a big factor because Mississippi State just fell apart in this game. And honestly, offensively, we did not play well at all. It was a major play by Slade Roy that really, flipped the momentum here. And honestly, the biggest reason why we won this game is because of Harold freaking Perkins. I really do feel this could be the Perk breakout game for this year. All right, so Mississippi State returned a good bit of their offensive line. Cole Smith, their center, actually started his career at LSU. But the guy that I want you to focus on is Quatrevious Dollar Bill Johnson. And honestly, in this game, he wasn't worth a penny because he was in hell all game long. He just could not deal with Harold Perkins. They struggled all different types of assignments. And if I'm Matt House, I go into this game saying, look, our defense isn't really playing well. Let's do something exotic, such as putting B.J. Ojolari. Now, obviously, we don't have B.J., but putting a faster player to rush as a 3-tech in the spot really helped us out here. And obviously, B.J. was the one who made this big play, but Perk also would have gotten the sack as well. Dance said, but watch him just turn the corner on Dollar Bill Johnson, the ghost rush move, wearing Von Miller's number 40 uniform, and look, puts his hand on the ground. Look at this bend right here, and it helps that Will Rogers isn't a runner, so it does help your pass rushers pin their ears back. And honestly, Perk won us this game because the rush was so good on this 3rd and 9. Bang! This dig would have opened right here for Will Rogers to throw it, and that would have moved the chains, and it instead forced this field goal to keep it a one-possession game. You got Quatrevious Dollar Bill Johnson, and then you have Nick Jones. I love a good name juxtaposition, right? Really cool name, and Nick Jones. Well, just like on the B.J. Ojolari clip, he gets beat with the swim move to the inside, and bang, okay? You get right through there, you force another sack, kind of in the same spot of the field you just saw. So if I am Matt House, I am overloading that left side and letting Mason and Harold eat. So this shows you the genius of Will Rogers. They actually run a Leach staple. This is mesh. We run a ton of mesh ourselves, okay? And once again, it's the left side of this Mississippi State offensive line. This time they don't communicate the stunt well at all. And this is actually really well designed. So what 11 is doing is faking like he's rushing to hold Dollar Bill Johnson to allow this cross dog blitz to get all the way home here. All right, so they're bringing Justin Flo, and they're wrapping this backer around to give unblocked B-gap pressure right here. Okay, so Dollar Bill is held right here, and then you see he sees it so late that he's not able to pick up the blitzing backer. But because Will Rogers is so good at mesh, it was the number one staple that he ran under Leach, look at this quarterback play right here to Jaden Wally, and look at when he is throwing this ball. Okay, this is where Wally is, and we have got to be ready for mesh. They're going to run it against our DBs. It's a very difficult play to run. It's what they ran in 2020 to beat us over and over again. You either got to pass this off or just cover this better. And look at where this ball is placed. And they got a personal foul penalty to go along with it right there. And they were able to pick up the first down as well. Okay? All right, so before we get back to the Mississippi State defense, I want to point out one thing about their offense. They are not that good, okay? I know a lot of you get on Jayden Daniels for his ADOT. You're looking at this from SEC StatCat. He had an ADOT of 5.2 in this game, all right? Average depth of target is what that means. In other words, Mississippi State is just like they were last year. They have a quarterback who doesn't really like to throw the ball vertically, and you saw the vertical shot that he did hit was on kind of a well-designed play, right? It was a wide-open receiver. Now, this still does mean, though, that the LSU defense has to play better in the secondary, and please join the PHL Patreon. You get a Burrow card from me, and you get all my extra breakdowns, Discord benefits. And this is Skipper from our Mississippi State Advanced preview. He believes that they're still going to try and tack us to the outside. So LSU's DBs have got to step up. The entire defense has got to step up. Let's talk about the LSU offense going up against Mississippi State's defense. What I want to show you is just a drive that the Arizona offense had, and it's going to potentially open up your eyes. Okay, Mississippi State likes to get exotic up front and they like to play deep coverage on the back end. So what does LSU need to do? Well, they need to hit the intermediate middle. You saw that first big shot. It was a rollout to the right, and it was kind of an intermediate 10-yard shot downfield, and you were able to run after the catch. Also, this is Arizona running Hoss, a play that we run a lot. Goes from the slots and just comebacks, hitches from your outside receivers. And Jayden needs to see this off coverage and make these throws. Okay, just play simple pitch and catch. I know it sucks to methodically move the football down the field, and I know a lot of you want to see our offense get a little bit more vertical, but you have to take what the defense gives you, because what Mississippi State did to force 5 Arizona turnovers, they just kept sinking their linebackers further and further and further back. And Jayden Delora, who is a lot like Jayden Daniels, except he does actually turn the football over a lot, he just kept throwing pick after pick after pick, and it was on him. So you have to take what this defense gives you. Another example of this here, notice they're all deep, all right? Intermediate, middle, wide open. Nobody's running that type of route, so just hit your check down and take these yards, okay? Once again, it's methodical, but you have to take what the defense gives you. Now, we might not get to this play, but the benefit of playing this style of defense is you do force the offense to execute in the red zone, and Arizona committed a fumble in the red zone. The truth is, we remember Jayden's fourth quarter against Mississippi State, and it was one of the great fourth quarter quarterback performances we have seen at LSU. It really was that good, that clutch, running those touchdowns in, and obviously completing that fourth down ball to Malik on a deep shot. Jayden was absolutely phenomenal. The issue, and you see in the background here, we've got to be able to run the football better. Mississippi State showed a light box, good enough to pick up a first down, but still only a few yards. Mississippi State's linebackers are very, very, very good. Now, I'm going to be honest. It's going to sound really, really, really blunt, but Jayden Daniels, as great as he was in that fourth quarter, he was terrible in the first 3. Missed a ton of throws, a ton. That would have drastically altered the game, and we've actually broken all those throws down so much that I don't want to do it again. But you'll see in the top right corner of your screen our third down deep dive from last year. It was not good, right? Outside of a really good drive to end the first half, the first 3 quarters was just a mess offensively. Now, to Jayden's benefit, though, Mississippi State still does like to get exotic, and we want them to lose contain and give Jayden an opportunity to come out here and make plays. So, of course, good decision by Delora to just throw it. In this spot, as good a runner as Jayden is, we just want Jayden running and taking those yards. Either way, that would work in that spot. Jayden has got to play like he did versus Grambling and be more precise with his throws and more decisive. Yeah, hopefully we do see more of that. And, hopefully we see some of this from Mississippi State as well. Just getting out of their rush lane. We saw Jayden just absolutely dominate Mississippi State with this. We want them to do this. We'll take Jayden running at them all day. And as you can see, Delora absolutely shakes this guy out of his boots and picks up a big gain. But Mississippi State's red zone defense is very good, and our red zone offense up to this point, in particular versus Florida State, wasn't. So we've got to be sharper there, and I do think this LSU offense has some matchup advantages on the outside, and hopefully we see Jayden have a big game on the road, and we see that fourth quarter, Jayden Daniels versus Mississippi State for the entire 4 quarters on Saturday. Now, comment down below. Do you believe LSU is going to cover the spread? Let me know if you enjoyed this film study, okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! And tonight, we are doing barbecue chicken. Let's go.